Good morning, students. The subject is Business Law or Legal Aspects in Business, Unit 2, the Contract Act 1872. Last class, we discussed about contract and its essential elements. Today, we are going to discuss about classification of contract. Contracts can be classified into three categories based on enforceability or validity. Next, based on formation or creation, and the last one based on performance. We'll see one by one. The first one, classification based on enforceability. Based on enforceability, contracts are classified as valid contract, void agreement, void contract, unenforceable contract, voidable contract, unlawful agreement, and illegal agreement. First one, valid contract, section 2H. I hope everybody knows what is a valid contract. As we discussed in the last class itself, what is a contract? A contract is an agreement enforceable by law. It must contain two elements, agreement and its enforceability. An agreement should be a legal binding agreement. Only legal binding agreements are enforceable. And it must qualify all the essential elements of a contract, which is laid down in section 10 of Indian Contract Act 1872. Next one, void agreement. Void agreement as per section 2G defines an agreement not enforceable by law is said to be void. So it is not valid. Validity is missing in this agreement. From the beginning, the agreement is void. The term used in contract is void ab initio for a void agreement. It means it is void from the beginning. To be valid, an agreement must contain all the essential elements which is listed in the section 10 of Indian Contract Act. If it misses, if it fails to fulfill any one of the essential elements which is listed in section 10, then agreement is said to be a void agreement. As per Indian Contract Act, these are the agreements which is said as void agreement. An agreement with a person whose age is below 18 years. If a person makes an agreement with a minor who is below the age of 18 years, then agreement is said to be a void agreement. The next one, an agreement with a person of unsound mind. It means that the person does not have any knowledge of understanding, who is lunatic. If a person goes and keeps his proposal to him, then will he able to understand the terms and condition of the agreement? No. So agreement is said to be void agreement. It is not a valid agreement. Then agreement without consideration. When you make a promise, proposal is there, acceptance is there, and it is done for an consideration, it done for an benefit, then only it is said to be an agreement. If that consideration is missing, then agreement is a void agreement. Next, voidable contract as per section 2I. As per definition, agreement which is enforceable by law at the option of one or more of the parties thereto, but not at the option of other or others, is a voidable contract. It simply says that a contract is voidable if the consent of or willingness of one party is obtained by other using applying coercion or indulging in a fraudulent act or misusing his power. If he makes use of all this acts and he fraudulently indulge a person into an offer, then that contract becomes voidable at the option of affected party or plaintiff. We use the word in Indian Contract Act. It means aggrieved party who had suffered a loss. If that aggrieved party is able to prove his stand, then it's said to be voidable at the option of affected party. So I have given example. X threatens to kill Y if he does not sell his house to X for rupees 1 lakh. Y agrees to sell the house since Y's concern, it means his willingness or concern is not free. It has been through coercion or by the means of fraudulent act his consent has been obtained, then it becomes a voidable at the option of Y. Next, void contract, section 2J. It defines a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law becomes void when it ceases to be enforceable. In this case, when the contract was entered into, it may be valid and binding on the parties as per law, but subsequently it becomes void. See, it has fulfilled all the essential elements which is listed in Indian Contract Act 1875. It was valid when it was formed. At the time of formation, it has fulfilled all the essential elements. That's why it's a contract. But later on, due to certain reason, it becomes void. It becomes invalid. I given an example. In case of import contract, the agreement is enforceable, but if subsequently war breaks out, then it becomes a void contract. I give an example. After the violent face off between India and China on June 15th, if I'm right, on June 15th, it has badly affected import and export supply between both the countries. Due to the action taken by Chinese forces on the ground have damaged the considerable trust. The considerable trust has been broken in the bilateral relationship. If it is going to continue and India and China are going to stand off at LAC and India cancels all the bilateral relationship with China and suppose war breaks out, then all the contracts with the Chinese people or Chinese manufacturer companies, it becomes a void contract. If you want me to give a simple example, I have given one more example here. A agrees to sell his horse to B for rupees 50,000, but the horse died in an accident. It becomes impossible to perform the contract due to restriction of the subject. Thus, a valid contract changes into void. See, the word is given. A valid contract changes into void contract because of subsequent impossibility of performance. See, I'll make this example in a simple way. Suppose I go to a horse seller who sells the horse, and I select a horse for 50,000 worth, and I made an agreement with him on this date, that is on 3rd June. And on the agreement, it is mentioned that I will get the delivery of horse on 15th June. What happens before the delivery of horse on 10th June? Horse died in an accident. So it becomes impossible for the horse seller to sell the horse because horse is no more, and because of the restriction of subject. So at the time of formation, it has fulfilled all the essential elements of a contract which is listed in section 10 of Indian Contract Act, but later on when the time of performance comes, it becomes impossibility of performance on the horse seller to perform the act. So it becomes a void contract. You can take it in a different way also. If I say offer and acceptance, offerer is there, offeree is there. If any one of the party dies, what happens? There is no possibility of performance until you have the representative to take the place and perform the act. But it has to pass through all the procedures. But if I say simply I want to say if nobody is there, then only offerer and offeree is there. If any one of the parties dies, so there is no further possibility of performance. So it becomes a void contract. Next we will see unlawful agreement. Unlawful agreement is one that is not approved by law, so it is not enforceable. Whatever all those agreements which is not approved, where you won't get any acceptance from the law, it is not enforceable on some grounds of public policy. So from the beginning it is invalid, there is no validity, so it is void and it is not enforceable. For the example, an agreement in restraint of marriage. It means that an agreement that restrict a person right to choose his or her life partner, then it is unlawful. Nobody have right to restrict a person who is above the age of 18 years to choose his or life partner. He can't restrict a person from selecting someone of his like. Next one, an agreement in restraint of trade or occupation. An agreement that restricts a person right to choose his or her profession and occupation is also an unlawful agreement. For example, you can't force anyone to select your what you have, what job or what occupation, what my son or daughter should take. You can't force, you can't impose on them. Their likes, where their likes is there, where they show the interest, it depends upon them to select the occupation. So if you force your son or daughter to join any another company where there is no interest, then willingness is missing. So you restricting a person from his selection. So it is also an unlawful agreement if it is proved in the court. But make a note of it, all unlawful agreements are not illegal agreements. Unlawful agreements are not lawful as per the law. It is not illegal. But when I say illegal agreements, all illegal agreements are unlawful, because as per the law it is criminal in nature and immoral. It is against the public policy, so it is void. So there is no enforceability, and the from beginning it is invalid. So there is no validity, so it is not enforceable. I give an example here. If A employs B to kill C, if A is employing B to kill C and agrees to pay B rupees 20,000 for doing the job. For this, A borrows the amount from D, who is aware of the purpose for which A is going to use the money. The agreement between A and D is collateral to the main agreement between A and B. So agreement itself is illegal. You are hiring a person to kill someone. Hiring a person to kill someone is itself is illegal act. For that illegal act, you are going and getting a money from one of your person or from a lender who is lending the money, and he knows the purpose of the money, where you are going to use the money. So the main agreement is the illegal, then collateral agreement also becomes illegal. What support is given to the main agreement is also illegal. So you can't go and claim for the enforceability in the court. The last one in this enforceability is unenforceable contract. It's a contract, so it means that it has fulfilled all the essential elements which is listed in Indian Contract Act 1872. Unenforceable, it is not enforceable. When it is not enforceable, when it has missed out some technical defect, such as absence of contract in writing, or it has been understamped. If this technical defects is removed, then contract become enforceable.